Okay, my flashlight collection. Now, I'm gonna pick exactly 5, gun to my head, that I would keep, and the rest I would either throw away or sell. Oh god. So I recently just watched a video by Metal Complex where he took his entire knife collection and he tried to break down one of every category that he would actually keep if he had to get rid of everything but a few tools. And I thought, what a cool concept to force yourself to be constrained and go ahead and figure out in your collection what is the bare minimum. So today we're going to do exactly that, but we're going to do it with flashlights. So this is the case that I use to carry my flashlights. It's actually worked out quite well. I'll be talking a lot more about the Vault case in the future. But for now, let's just get these out. Boom and boom. So these are all, I'm going to take the case away, pull out all the flashlights. So we'll start with the big boys, get all those ironed out. So from left to right here, these are Warrior Minis. This is the Noctagon KR4, the Lumentop FW3A. This is, let's see, this is the Raylight Land Pineapple in titanium, the EDC05C from Lumentop. This is the E2A from Skill Hunt, the A28 from Roby Vaughn. We have the brand new FWAA, the E3A from Eagletech. We also have 2 nanos, one in brass, one in copper. Whoops, stay there. We have, of course, a red and gold i3T from Olight. This is the Astrolux A02. And then, of course, the Astrolux M01. These are small, that's a small 10180 flashlight. Then we have, let's see, a bunch of other ones here. This is the Prometheus Designs Beta QR, and this is the TIE 3 V2 by Through Night. Okay, so that's not every flashlight I probably own. Oh, wait, we don't want to forget this bad boy. But it's a pretty good number of flashlights to work with. So let's start and make this very simple. One light I'm absolutely keeping that was absolutely the biggest surprise to me that I even wanted to keep this in my collection, and that is the big boy over here. So this is the Warrior X. This light is not something I expected to want to keep in my collection. I actually got it when I ordered a whole bunch of the Warrior Minis at one point, and this was kind of what you got when you got a bonus. I'm like, oh, I'll sell it. It turns out I couldn't, and it's because I didn't have this functionality in my kit. So this is probably the most compact functional searchlight I've ever seen. This has 200,000 candela. 200,000 candela, okay? 1,000 meters of throw. If I need to find somebody, if it's an emergency, this is the light. This is the light. There's just no substituting. There's no EDC, flashlight that's ever going to get anywhere near this. And it will hold 1,000 lumens, which is basically 200,000 candela, for a very long time. I think it's like 45 minutes to an hour, which is a long time at that power level. This light is a definite. So there's one slot already, and that is already making this quite difficult. Now, if I had 4 more, what I'd try to first off is break down to is tactical light. It's the next thing I'd probably do, and tactical light that you can actually carry. And right now there aren't that many lights that fill that category that are small enough, I would say is compact enough to justify carrying every single day. Now, you might carry it from time to time, and some people are out there and they'll carry, the big Through Nights or Wowtacs or whatever it is, but for me, they kind of need to be more compact. As much as I like the new Warrior Mini 2, I think one thing that I will keep this in my collection is how compact it is relative to its size. So for me, it's definitely between one of these three. Now we have copper, which is getting a beautiful patina, by the way, titanium, and aluminum. Now there's beauty and then there's functionality, of course, right? Now I think that this has a balance of both, but the one thing that's problem with copper is simply its weight. This is basically yeah. I mean, if I threw this at somebody, it'd probably kill him. It weighs quite a bit. I think this is like 9 ounces. It's very, very heavy. But the other advantage of copper, of course, is that it also distributes the heat really well. So at high power, it's also going to function properly. The next best thing, though, is actually aluminum. So for me, it's going to be the Warrior Mini in aluminum. Doesn't matter what variety it is, but aluminum is still the best material for any flashlight. That's not a question. When it comes to function, aluminum is where it's at. So there's 2. We have 2 down. Now it's going to get really hard really fast. All right, so these are gone. The KR4 4300 lumens, unbelievable. I bought it mostly because I just clickbait of 4300 lumens in your pocket. I had to try it. Very cool light, but it's very complicated UI, and usually you have, because the E-switch is so short and doesn't require much pressure, you always have to leave it in lockout, which doesn't make it much of a tactile light, right? So that one's out. Same thing is kind of true with the FW3A, but you can see that the size of it is actually quite good. With a mechanical switch, it would be much better if it had some real pressure and you didn't accidentally depress it. Then I could really consider it, but unfortunately, that's a no. So that's out. Now we're down to the smaller lights. So we have these guys, we're good to go. So now let's work on sizes here. So we have some AA sized or 14500 sized lights up at this top part here. And we have some smaller lights we'll get to in a second. So first of all, let's talk about the AA size. Oh, I just realized I forgot a very important flashlight. Magic. All right, we forgot the Baton 3. Don't worry, that we'll be talking about that in just a minute. But for these, what really surprised me, now I have become a big snob when it comes to tint, but there's another factor, another part of the stats that I really didn't realize was so important, and only one of these lights actually works, and I'll tell you about why. So the stat that really shocked me when I actually saw these broken down on not just run times, but also the mode set and how long it maintains a given level, what really surprised me is very, very few flashlights ever maintain what they are rated at. So if a flashlight is rated, for instance, the i3T, rated 180 lumens, how long do you think that 180 lumens actually lasts before it goes down? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. A lot of these lights, like this says this 1500 lumens, how long does that last? 90 seconds before it drops down to a much lower level, around 300, 500 lumens. I can't remember exactly how much. That number, how long it takes to go from the current mode down to a lower level, what I was surprised and shocked to find is nearly every flashlight that I thought was good. Really, how good could it be if it's only good for 90 seconds? Only one of these flashlights actually holds a relatively good level through its entire runtime till it loses battery. Only one. It's not the one you would expect. You would think the Ray light would do that, right? No, that one's gone. The incredibly advanced 1200 lumen 14500 FWAA, brand new. How long do you think that 1200 lumens lasts? 30 seconds. Yeah, nah. And it drops fast on lumens. That one's out. The E2A, it's an automatic drop, and it does drop pretty quick. Really great tint, excellent for the money. Great little light when you just need something quick. But the drop, once again, on high, in like a minute and a half, it's gone. You're down to like 80 lumens. I can't remember the exact number, but it's a lot lower. Now, down to 2. Here's the problem. This is the light I like the best, but I don't have any numbers to know for sure if it doesn't drop. But from my testing, it drops really, really quickly. And it keeps the heat from being an issue, but unfortunately it's not functionally very useful. Which leaves us with the EDC05C by Lumentop. This shocked me. This actually runs nearly at full power, 500 lumens with a 14500 battery, by the way. It runs for 12 minutes at 500 and then only drops to like 300, which is just a little bit lower, and runs till it pretty much loses all power at 45 minutes. This actually runs pretty damn close to its max capacity, and at its medium setting of 180 lumens, it goes non-stop for almost 6 hours. On the side lights, it's even more impressive. The maximum brightness on these high CRI LEDs, which by the way is important because we have a very white light. This is warm. These warm lights, which by the way, they get ultra bright. They last a ridiculously long time. 90 minutes at full brightness. I was blown away by the stats on this thing. So this is without question the light that ends up winning over all of the other AA's, purely because they actually run at the lumens that it actually says. It's not a particularly small AA, but the fact is it not only takes 14500s, it actually takes AA's. It has 2 full useful light sources, not just here, but you can even put this on a necklace, which I tend to do, and now work hands-free. So even if I don't have a hat on, it still works really, really well. It works by hand. I can easily get access to the side lights. It takes a few minutes to remind me what the UI is. But I mean, this is a very bright flashlight for a AA sized flashlight, and really, really great on the stats. So there's our third one right there. That is an absolute must. So these 3 are definite. Now what we have left, and here's the interesting part. We have AAA flashlights, we have 10180 flashlights, and we have a couple of built-in battery flashlights down here at the end. Okay, so here's where things get particularly interesting. I've said before that I said this was the best overall EDC light, and when it comes to quality of light, what it can do, all of that is true. But just like the other lights we talked about that are high CRI and are excellent, immediately these drop dramatically in power. So the high mode, the turbo, that lasts for a very, very short amount of time before it immediately drops due to heat and power drain. Okay, because of that, can I really recommend it? It's not really a 700 lumen light, but yes, it's still excellent at what it does, and I still would highly recommend this light. When I need the high output, it's definitely very good. My problem with it is that the next mode down, which is about 300 lumens, that doesn't last very long either. I think it's like 6 or 7 minutes before it drops even further. So, as much as I want to have this one be it, it's sort of a no for me, which is crazy. What shocked me, and I kind of hate it, I kind of hate this fact that this is done so well, is that the Baton 3, the new updates on the mode sets, they really outdid themselves. And the reason is it has a 1200 lumen turbo that within 90 seconds will drop down to 300 lumens, which is a great level, and it'll stay at that level for 45 minutes. On its high mode, which is 300 lumens by the way, that it will maintain for 45 minutes before it drops. It actually holds the actual level that it says it's supposed to be at. And it has this ultra convenient charging capability with this, so it can immediately be charged up again. It's got a double-sided clip. It's very compact, and if you look at the size, surprisingly, they are very similar. Very, very similar in width. Even among my other AA's, it's not actually that much bigger. I hate to admit it, I really, really do. If this had been a good tint, this would be the easiest decision of all time, but I really wish it was better, but I cannot ignore the fact of how well built and how well designed the Baton 3 actually is. I hate that it is, but I can't even ignore it. It's probably, if not one of the best EDC flashlight, and I hate that. I hate that it is, because the tint is terrible, but I can't ignore it. It just is. So there's 4, and now I have to figure out which one of these that I get. And here's what's quick eliminations here. Prometheus Beta QR, the most overrated flashlight I've ever used, and I'm really disappointed by the fact that the finish immediately fell off. Great, high CRI, made in the USA. Very disappointing. The i3T, great clip, decent functionality. I don't like that that you have to full press to get to the other modes, no memory. With like a third mode at an even lower setting, it doesn't hold 180 lumens. That's easy out. Let's start with the, okay. So these are the coolest flashlights I own. They are 450 lumens. They have 300 meters of throw, twice that of the Warrior Mini, but they are just too difficult to carry. Beautiful though. I mean, these are one of my favorites in my collection. Their UI, everything about them is so cool. If I did have to pick one, it'd have to be the aluminum. This thing gets hot. I'm sorry, the copper. It looks beautiful and it's very functional. Absolutely would be it, but unfortunately I only get to keep one more. So here's the hard part here. What I want out of this has changed because I've learned that carrying a small flashlight like this only makes sense if it's actually hanging around my neck. So this is a high CRI light under $20 that has 10440 capability and can actually get up to 350 lumens in a AA. This thing is absolutely a rock star as an actual true EDC light, but the run times, you know, you're still stealing with the AAA. Still excellent light, one of my favorites, in fact. The same thing was true. Like, if you want to talk about a tried and true flashlight, this has got to be that light. Like, it can tail stand, it's got a diffuser, great mode set, it has a moonlight mode, it's like $12. It's got to be one of the best, you know, budget lights out there. This one, another budget light, but the cool thing about this one that I used to wear it around my neck is that it's actually got a high CRI Nietzsche LED with a maximum lumens of 90, but also has a 5 lumen low mode. So this was a really, really, really good choice for a neck light. But one thing that drives me crazy about it is that this is not attached. So when you charge it, you have to kind of take it apart. It has a micro USB. So it's okay, but here's the thing. I fell in love with this the very first time I got it. This is the Mech Army X7S. Now, really what it is it's actually an X2S, which is a 10180, and it comes with a whole bunch of little attachments. So it's this flashlight, which is about 120 lumens, and on top of that you get this component. So let me put it back together real quick. You also get this. Modular flashlight. You know me, I can't turn down a modular flashlight. And the mode sets are actually really good on this. So I can wear this around my neck as a flashlight to have in last resort, which is what I wanted for in the first place. And I can mix and match them. So if I want to carry them in my pocket, I can make it long, make it short. I can use, there's even a storage component you can go in between this, so it's even longer for real convenient. With this pocket clip, I can actually clip it inside my hat and have it face out because I have the wazoo cap. this is the winner. This is the winner. So if I had to pick, this is what I would pick. And the biggest surprise for me actually is the Baton 3 and the EDC 05C. Oops. Stay there. This is the biggest surprise. I don't even want to like the Baton 3, but simply put, it's the, if I was going to recommend one light in this whole situation, it would have to start with this guy. This thing is just far too convenient. It's too convenient. They've really outdone themselves. The next one, by far, is this one, the EDC 05, with being able to use for AA's and 14500s. This would be my travel light of choice. Oh, did I mention that you can charge the battery inside with a USB cable, micro USB cable, and it's IPX8. This would definitely be my next highest recommend. For traveling, this would be it right here. Or the Baton 3. Once again, USB Type-C charging. If you want to leave the cable at home, more than likely you're never going to run out of 3 full charges, which is what this can charge it back up in. So yeah, I think that these two lights here are probably the best overall for a recommendation. But you can see these 5 pretty much cover me on everything I wanted to do. And with this one specifically, you get additional functionality of having a lighter as well. So there you go. There's my 5. I hope this was a fun little video. Maybe you enjoyed it. Let me know. Do you want to see all the other ones like this? Do you want me to do this with multi-tools? I got like 30. I could just pull them all out, and we'll see which one exists and why. But I had fun. I hope you did too. You guys have a great day.